Hello once again and welcome back to Dallas Cowboys Nation. The Dallas Cowboys are not simply going through another training camp, but this team has made a major changes, especially on his defense, and the pressure is now on Brian Scott Hamer and defensive coordinator Christian Parker, Dak Prescott, Jerry Jones, and the entire roster to prove that these changes can finally turn Dallas Cowboys into a serious Super Bowl contender this year. And today we have a lot to talk about the Dallas Cowboys. So today we are going to break down the latest training camp developments, the biggest performances, the injury situation, the latest trade rumor, and the enormous Quinnen Williams contract extension, and the continuing Max Crosby conversation from our leaders. So what happened during the joint practice in the Oxnard with the Los Angeles Rams, and what the Cowboys fans should watch as the first preseason game approaches. So before we start, please make sure you turn on notification and also you make a subscribe on this Dallas Cowboys Nation platform. One of the biggest stories surrounding the Dallas this summer is the sense of the urgency. The Cowboys finished the 2026 season with a disappointing 7-9-1 record, and the organization know that another disappointing season would create a serious questions, but instead of standing still, Dallas made a major changes. The defense has been completely rebuilt, and the Dallas Cowboys brought in the Lashan Gally, Kenny Clark, Quinnen Williams, John Thompson, PG Luki, and Kobe Durant, while also adding a several young defensive players should be on the draft. The biggest draft day move was selecting a safety Caleb Downs at the number 11 after trading up. The Cowboys also selected edge rusher Malachi Lawrence and the linebacker Jason Barham. Among other, the objective is very clear: build a defense capable of supporting a Dak Prescott and an offense that already has a major weapons. And the training camp is now showing whether that plan is actually working. The official Cowboys training camp also schedule has a Dallas working through a practice in Oxnard in California before the preseason game against Central Arizona and New Orleans. Dallas also has joint practices with Rams and Saints. So, if there is an area that has generated the most excitement, it is the defense. Christian Parker has inherited defense that struggled badly last season, and he is trying to install a new system with many new players. The early signs are encouraging. During the Cowboys' joint practice with the Los Angeles Rams on August 11, a Dallas defense produced 3 interceptions and the recepted created pressure. One of the biggest stars of the season was linebacker Justin Ballon, who recorded 3 interceptions, including a 2 against Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford. That is exactly the type of aggressive Cowboys fans wanted to see. So the Caleb Downs also continue to attract enormous attention. The rookie safety is being used different roles, and his ability to play safety move closer to the line of the scrimmage and contribute in coverage gives a Christian Parker a lot of flexibility. Donovan Azelwan has Shavon Level has also shown flashes during the camp, and perhaps most important, the defensive line now looks completely different. Quinnen Williams, Kenny Clark, and Lashan Gally give a Dallas much stronger front than it had previously. The Cowboys defense also looked impressive against the Rams, although it is impossible to remember that joint. A practice are not regular season game. The Rams offense and defense also had a good moments, and both teams were testing schemes rather than playing a real game. Still, for the Dallas Cowboys fans, seeing pressure turnover and better communication is very positive until now in the camp in Oxnard in California for the Dallas Cowboys. So let's continue. Let's talk on Quinnen Williams, just who received a massive contract extension in the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas has agreed to a massive 3-year extension with defensive tackle Quinnen Williams. The deal is worth approximately 100 million US dollar with more than 100 million US dollar guaranteed according to reporting around the agreements. This is a huge commitment for Keenans, but it is also tells something important about how the Cowboys view Quinnen Williams. They do not see him as the short-term player. They see him as one of the foundation of this defense. Because if his contract is extended for 3 years, he can be one of most the players in defense who can load on others. Williams is expected to be one of the leaders of the defensive front alongside Kenny Clark and Lashan Gally. The timing of extension is also interesting because a Dallas Cowboy was able to structure the contract in a way that creates some short-term financial flexibility. That has immediately led to speculations among the Cowboys fans. So the question that every Dallas Cowboys fans is asking themselves is, if could Jerry Jones be preparing for another major moves? And until now, nobody should automatically assume another blockbuster trade which is coming in the Dallas Cowboys, but the timing has certainly created more questions. Jerry Jones has opened the door for a blockbuster trade. This is where things get very interesting. Jerry Jones made one of the strongest trade-related statements, so the Cowboys fans have heard from him in years. During a training camp, Jones said Dallas would be willing to give up the future top pick if the right player become available and could meaningfully improve the team immediately. He is essentially made it clear that the Cowboys are willing to sacrifice future draft capital for the present day's talent. This is a major change in philosophy. Jerry Jones specifically said top picks could be expendable if the player was good enough to improve the teams in opening day's matches. He's also admitted that he had spoken with another NFL owner about the potential move, so if the Dallas Cowboys did not extend the contract for Quinnens, another team can finally sign this player. The Max Crosby and Dallas Cowboys this time. Of course, the Cowboys nation immediately started talking about the Max Crosby with his team leaders. The Cowboys' interest in the Cowboys is not a complete new story. Earlier this year, Jerry Jones acknowledged that Dallas had been involved in discussions surrounding the Crosby before the potential Baltimore Ravens trade collapsed. At the time, Jones said he did not anticipate reopening the situation with the Raiders, or thought he did not completely close to the door. But now things have changed. Jerry Jones has openly said the Cowboys are willing to trade a premium future picks for a right player. That does not prove Dallas is the trading for the Max Crosby. It is very important to make that distinction. This is currently no confirmed report saying that the Crosby has been traded to the Dallas. But the situation remains fascinating because the Crosby is exactly the kind of the player Jerry Jones described. He's proven elite pass rusher who could immediately change the identity of the defense. So imagine if the Cowboys defensive front featuring Quinnen Williams, Kenny Clark, Lashan Gary, and potential Max Crosby. That could be one of the most aggressive defensive fronts in the football. However, there would be a huge price. The Raiders would likely demand significant draft compensation, and the Dallas could have considered a Crosby contract age, health, and long-term financial impact. So far now, Cowboys fans should treat the Crosby story as the major rumors and the possibility and not an official trade. So the reason the trade rumor matter is Dak Prescott. Dak is not getting younger. The Dallas know the window to win with him is now. Dak has already said the team's mindset is basically why not now? Why we cannot be a Super Bowl contender this year? The Cowboys have an offense featuring CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, while a Javonte Williams gives the running game another important weapon. George Pickens is particularly interesting. He is entering another season with a Dallas after his first year with the organization. The Cowboys are expecting him to become a major playmaker or a good kicker alongside